Some days I just get in a really intense audiobook kick, and today was one of those days. I finished an audiobook that I had started last week called The Marlow Murder Club. It was okay. I think I'm gonna end up giving it a 3-star. It felt very much like a cozy murder mystery kind of vibe. And then same thing with A Beautiful Boy. I didn't finish it, but that was another audiobook that I started last week. That one is really hard to get through because it talks about some intense things in there. So still listening to that one. And hopefully I will finish that one this week as well. But I'll talk more in depth about those probably tomorrow because it's actually Monday night right now. I've spent most of my day today trying to get through a book that I'm reading for my matching book covers to my outfits video, which is already out by this time. So you'll get an in-depth review of that book in that video, but I'm reading the last book for that video. I was supposed to finish The Timekeeper's Secret yesterday. Obviously I didn't finish it. I'm at 83% right now. I'll have to calculate the pages probably tomorrow, but I started at around 53% today, so I've been reading a lot. I woke up early this morning before work to read because I was really trying to finish that book, and then I've been reading pretty much all night. It's already 11 o'clock, so I should be asleep, but I'm not because I want to finish this book. So far, I'm not obsessed with it. I kind of am thinking about DNFing it, but I'm like, I'm 83% of the way through right now. Should I really do that? I feel like maybe no. So fingers crossed I'm gonna finish this book tonight. If I don't, I'm gonna wake up early tomorrow and finish it, but that's my plan right now. Honestly, when I'm reading for a specific reading blog, I really try to get through the books as fast as I can. I'm not like rushing myself, but I'm like trying to read more than I typically do. So this week will be more of how much can I read while also being super busy, because the rest of my week is pretty busy. I've got some things going on other than my typical 9 to 5, and then also a bunch of like YouTube stuff that I want to do and prep for the rest of the month because I've got a lot of ideas, a lot of things that I want to do. Hopefully I will finish even more of this book and then we can pick some new reads. It's the next morning. I have like 15 to 20 minutes before I need to log on to work, but I want to quickly talk about all the books that I've read so far. That makes it sound like I've read so many books. It's literally only Tuesday morning. And also, if you're new here, I work from home, which definitely gives me extra time to put into reading and YouTube and things like that because I don't commute. Obviously, like I literally just walk into the other room and start working, which literally is so great. Working from home has worked out for me so amazing. Anyway, but that's not what this video is about. So this morning I did get up pretty early because I really wanted to finish my book, and I did. I finished it before I even got out of bed, which I almost never do. I normally get ready and then I read it, but my cat was being super cuddly, so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna stay in bed with my cat and I'm gonna finish this book, which I did. So I finished The Timekeeper's Secret this morning. I rated that a 2-star. I don't want to dwell on that though, because in case you watched the other video, I don't want to sound super repetitive. But that book is all about like time travel, and they have this mission, and it also has like Harry Potter-esque vibes in the sense that they are in this Timekeeper Academy. I need to do my hair, it looks so bad. Anyways, I didn't really love it, but that was the only book that I needed to finish specifically for a video, so I feel like the rest of the week I'm going to be reading a lot slower, and I'm also going to be mood reading, which will be fun. And I think I already know what I want to pick up next, but we will figure that out a little bit later, probably after work, because I don't think I'm gonna have time to read before work because I want to like sit down and eat breakfast. You saw it yesterday, I was on an audiobook kick, which sometimes I love the audiobooks while I work, sometimes I just can't do it. It also depends on like what I'm working on. Some of the things at work that I do, I'm like, I can't, I have to have everything silent, like just so I can fully focus in on it. But sometimes I can just listen to an audiobook in the background. Like I said, just depends. So yesterday I had 2 audiobooks going that I had started last week. I don't know why I did that, but I did. The first one, which I actually finished, was The Marlow Murder Club. And I think I started at the 40% mark or like maybe the 50% mark, but I finished that one. That was about a older lady and her neighbor is mysteriously shot dead, and she kind of puts herself on the case as a detective even though she's not a detective at all. She's like literally just the neighbor. She basically plays detective, which is so fun. I'm gonna give that one a 3-star. It was very fun, super lighthearted, kind of a cozier mystery, but I definitely want to keep reading the series, so maybe once I finish Beautiful Boy we will keep listening to that. But like I said, really depends on what I'm working on at work for if I'm going to listen to an audiobook or not. But yeah, I'm gonna go eat and then we will probably talk after I get off of work, so around 5 maybe, and I'll figure out what I want to read next. It's not even 10 o'clock, but I'm so tired that I'm probably just gonna lay down and go straight to bed. Well, not straight to bed. I'm gonna read a little bit as always, but this time as soon as I feel tired, I'm gonna just let myself go to sleep. Recently I've been very bad about letting myself go to sleep. I've just been pushing it and staying up until like midnight and then waking up at like 6 o'clock, so I'm really hoping that my body will let me go to sleep at a decent hour tonight. But I did just start Carniges Maid very recently. I'm only on page 22 right now. I picked this book up from the library simply because on the front it says Downton Abbey fans should flock to this charming tale. That was enough for me to want to read it. I love Downton Abbey. It's one of my favorite shows ever. But I can't even lie to you, after the prologue in this book, I very much thought about DNFing it and just like reading a different book instead. But obviously I'm gonna push through, and if I decide maybe like tomorrow morning that I want to DNF it, I will. But based on the prologue, it was just not what I was expecting, so I was kind of like, what? But also I don't remember anything from the synopsis of the book, so that might have been part of the problem. But basically so far it's about a girl named Clara Kelly, and she takes a ship from Ireland, I believe, to America, and it's set in like the 1870s, and she has like no money, she's got nothing to her name, and as soon as she gets off the boat, someone is yelling for her name, and she's like, well, this is weird, like no one is expecting me, I don't have any family here, like I have nothing here. And she was basically expected to just go into America with absolutely nothing and get a job and be able to like send money back to her family. But anyway, she gets off the ship, someone's calling her name, and she pretends to be that person, but like she is that person because someone's calling her name, but it's obvious that it's not her that they're looking for. They're looking for a different Clara Kelly, but she basically goes in that person's place. So I'm intrigued now to see where things are heading. I am trying not to compare it too much to Downton Abbey in my head because then my expectations are going to be very high, but we'll see where things go. I was presented with two options this morning. It was either I work out or I read before logging on to work, and I chose incorrectly and I worked out. But that's okay because I got pretty far into this book last night. I got to page 60, which I did not think that that was going to happen at all because like I said, I was so tired. So I thought that I would read maybe 2 or 3 pages and then knock out. I lasted a while, but I'm really liking it so far. No like major updates, but I am glad that I've stuck through it and read it because like I said, the first chapter I was like not feeling it. After that it gets better. I'm very excited to see where things go, especially because one of the reviews on the back said that it's like a romance, and I was not thinking that this was a romance at all, especially not right now. So I'm very excited to see where that plot is going. I think I kind of already know based on the first chapter, but I'm still excited, you know? I can be excited. But I'm not gonna read right now. I actually have to leave because I'm going to like this family dinner kind of thing, which is part of why I said at the beginning of the week that it's going to be a busier week for me because I don't think that I'm gonna get to much reading today. Just like yesterday, I'm probably only going to read while I'm laying in bed, like about to sleep, which on my busy weeks, that's pretty much when I get my reading done. It's really just a part of my routine at this point to lay down with a book, and then that's kind of like how I fall asleep. So I need to head out, but hopefully we will read a little bit when I get back. Is it 11:30 and I'm just now getting into bed? And when I'm waking up at 6:30 tomorrow morning? Yes. Yes. Correct. Am I tired enough to probably lay down and immediately go to sleep? Yeah. Am I gonna lay down and try to go to sleep? No. I'm going to lay down and read my book because I have not read a single page today, and I just feel like it'll help me fall asleep, you know? I feel like I am now in a phase of my life where if I lay down and don't read to go to sleep, it's gonna take me forever to go to sleep. My body knows when I lay down in this bed, I start reading, it's time for bed. So that's immediately what I'm gonna do. I really wanted to finish this book, like obviously not today, but at least in this video. I do have a half day on Friday, so if I don't finish editing my video and my reels and YouTube shorts and things like that, I'm gonna do that Friday, but also I'm gonna read. I'm gonna spend so much time reading on Friday. I'm so excited for my half day. Anyways, I'm gonna lay down and read. It's now Thursday, so it's the next day, and I just got ready for my tap class, which I normally don't wait this late to get ready for the day / for tap. I normally do it in the morning, but I kept thinking that I was not going to tap today because we kept getting really bad storms, so I was just assuming that I wouldn't be going, but now it's all cleared up, so it's not even raining anymore. So I got ready and I'm gonna head out. But this morning I got up early. I did a little bit of editing. I still really need to do some more, but I did that, logged on to work, I made some dinner, got ready for tap like I said. Now we're here. I'm thinking I might read a little bit. I can't decide if I want to read right now or if I want to edit because I want to get my videos done, but also at the same time, like I really just want to read. So I don't know. I should probably edit. Yeah. I just have barely read at all this week, which really sucks, but I knew going into this week that I would have very little time to read. Maybe I'll edit some now and then I'll say after tap I can read. I'm gonna go convince myself to edit. Hey Morgan, how many times are you gonna say that this is a busy week? At least one more time because I just need to say this is probably the least amount. Hi, baby. No. Hi. I feel so loved right now. Anyways, I was trying to say that this is probably the least amount I've read in months, like in the span of 1 week. Normally I am putting down at least 2 or 3 books a week. And I will say we did finish 1 audiobook in this video, so that's good. I don't know if I mentioned this at all. I actually have a half day at work tomorrow, which I'm so excited about. I feel like that's the only thing that has gotten me through this very, very busy week. Like just so much things that I feel like I have to do. Like I had my dinner the other night, which felt like the only thing I did after work. And then today I had my tap class. I did some editing, which is why I haven't really picked up my book today. What did I do on Tuesday? Probably nothing but editing and reading. Tomorrow I'm very, very excited to have a half day at work. Took the afternoon off as a little summer Friday treat to myself. So I'm very, very excited about that. And also I feel like because of that, I am less stressed about finishing Saturday's video. Like I like to have the videos edited by Monday, and then on Tuesday they're uploaded and like ready to go for Saturday. That's my ideal goal. That has not happened in so long, like ever since I took a vacation. When was that? That was early summer, so it's been a long time. Anyways, me and my cat are now gonna cuddle and I'm gonna read my book, and I'm just gonna be a grand old happy little camper thinking about the fact that I only have to work 4 hours tomorrow instead of 8, and that my cat wants to cuddle me right now because that's so cute. I just got to page 97 and I don't want to go to sleep at all. All I want to do is read this book, but I'm so tired. Also, I'm starting to really, really like this book, and I feel like there's just a tiny little tiny little hint of romance that we've gotten so far. I just love reading about this time period and like lords and ladies and maids and all of that kind of stuff, so I'm like eating that up, and I knew I would. Like as soon as you compared this book to Downton Abbey, I was like sold. So I don't want to put it down, but I have to because I'm so tired. Hi, it is Friday. We're in my little office because I just logged off. It's just after 12 right now, and I'm gonna go eat some lunch, and then I'm gonna come back up here actually and edit this week's video because I keep saying that I'm gonna do that. I've sat down and done it for maybe like 30 minutes. The rest of the time I've been like editing reels or like looking at my analytics, doing like things like that. Now I need to actually sit down and edit, and then I'm hoping to read a ton today because I feel like I need to read. I miss it. This is my current plan. Step number 1, clean up my room because I hit snooze 1 too many times this morning, so I did not get around to actually like finishing picking up my room because I pick up my room pretty much every morning. That way it like stays clean throughout the day. Well, that way it starts clean, but it normally gets a little bit messy throughout the day. And then again next morning I just do that all over again, so that way it's like always clean. Step number 2 is then going to be edit my video, and I'm just gonna do that until either my computer dies or I finish the video, whichever comes first, because I don't feel like sitting at my desk right now. I want to sit somewhere else when my computer needs to be charged. I'm just gonna give myself a little break, which means step number 3 gets to be my little break, which of course you already know that my break is going to be reading because that's all I want to do. I'm so pleasantly surprised by this book. It's got great potential so far, so I'm very excited to see where it goes. I was able to get so much editing done today that I just sat down and read for like an hour straight, and it was so nice and so rejuvenating. Like I feel like I can now take on the rest of the weekend because I gave myself that hour to just sit down and read, which is literally the only thing I wanted to do because I swear this book has shocked me so much. I did not think that I would like this book as much as I do. This is how much I have left, and I'm honestly very much thinking either 4 or 5-star potential here. That's how much I'm liking it right now. My feelings towards one of the characters kind of goes in and out. Like I like him sometimes I hate him. It's just all over the place, but I still really like the book, and I just love reading about this time period. I'm trying to keep everything I say vague in case you want to read this book, because I do feel like part of the reason why I really like it is because I went in blind. I had no idea what was going to happen, but I am hoping to keep reading some today. I'm not sure that I'll actually finish this book today, but I still want to let you guys know my thoughts on this book in this video because this was the book that I have been reading the longest in this video. Like I feel like this video could have been a Carniges Maid reading vlog at this this point. But for now, I'm gonna go eat dinner, and then I think me and Jack are gonna hang out. We're gonna do something at some point today. It's almost exactly 6 o'clock right now, so we have plenty of time to decide what to do. Also, I'm just like so shocked at how rejuvenated I feel after giving myself that time to like sit down and read. I spent so much time editing my video today, even though it's not finished yet, but I really feel like I needed that time to sit down and do what I wanted to do, aka read, because before that I literally was convinced that I was going to spend all weekend in bed doing nothing because I just didn't have the energy in me. Now I do. I feel so great. It's much later in the day. I'm about to go to bed. I'm on page 218, so this is all I have left, which I don't think I'm gonna finish it tonight because it's kind of late for me. Like, it's already 11, but also at the same time, every single time I pick up this book, I struggle to put it down. I don't know what is in this book, but I like can't stop. Part of me is wondering if that's because I'm so obsessed with like this time period and that Downton Abbey vibe of things, or if this book is like truly that good. But also I feel like if you don't like reading about that time period, you're not gonna like reading this book either, because obviously like things were just so different back then. But I also find it interesting because I don't often read about this time period in America. Like, normally I'm reading this time period in like European countries, specifically England mostly. So it's interesting to see that from like the American point of view. Like, we started out in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So it's just been interesting to see that. It's the next day, it's now Saturday, and let's talk about every book I've read this week. I was just about to say that I feel like I normally read more books than this in a week, because I feel like I range between 2 to 3 books within the span of like Monday through Friday, just kind of depending on like my filming schedule and how busy I am throughout the week. But I actually finished 2 books in this video, and then I finished my 3rd book this morning, which we'll get to. So the very first book I finished in this video was on Monday, and that was The Timekeeper's Secret. I almost forgot that I finished that book in this video because that book was for a different reading vlog that I was filming that kind of like ran into this one. So I don't want to dig too deep into that because I don't want to repeat myself in this video and the video before that. So if you want to watch my matching my books to my outfits video, my full thoughts are in that video, but I will say I gave that a 2-star. But let's just move on to my next book, which was The Marlow Murder Club. This was an audiobook and I gave this 3 stars. This was a book that I just listened to while I was working, like doing my actual like work like 9 to 5 work, because sometimes I like to listen to audiobooks, sometimes I don't, but I really liked that one. It was just lighthearted, so it was the perfect kind of audiobook. At least for me, I like my audiobooks to be either nonfiction or something lighthearted that's easy to follow while listening to. And then I also started A Beautiful Boy, which is a nonfiction. It's a memoir talking about his son's struggle with addiction. So I think you would call it a memoir, maybe not. I don't know. It is a rough read though, like you just dive really deep into those topics, and that is sometimes hard to listen to. So I've been listening to that slowly for weeks. I'm about at the halfway mark, specifically 59%. I just checked on my Libby app. So obviously I don't have a rating for that right now, but if you're curious on my rating for that, I will definitely talk about that in my monthly wrap up, because I'm sure I will finish it at that point. And then most of the week I was reading Carniges' Maid, and I got to page 230 last night and I finished the rest this morning. This book is sitting between a 4.5 and a 5-star for me. I cannot decide what it is because it was so good, but the ending was absolutely devastating. Like, it made perfect sense, but that's just not what I wanted from the ending, so it was heartbreaking. I almost cried, but this book was just so beautiful. If you like reading about this time period, highly, highly, highly recommend. If you don't like this time period, I really don't think you'll like this book. Also, if you like Downton Abbey, I think you will like this book. So that comparison on the cover was correct. It really got me to read this book, and I'm so glad I did. I'll update you on if I think that this is a 4.5 or 5-star, because I feel like I need to sit in it a little bit longer, but it was so amazing. 100% recommend this if you're looking for a book like that. But that is it. That's everything I read this week. So I finished part of one book, part of an audiobook, and I fully finished this book this week. So I guess I did read a lot less than I normally do. I don't know, whatever. It was fun to read. I had a busy week, and like I said yesterday, carving out some time specifically to read made me feel so refreshed and rejuvenated, and I'm so glad I did that. So if you need a sign to carve out some time for yourself to do something that you love, take this as your sign. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!